All right, welcome to Casual Wednesdays. This is the Wednesday show for Fish Tuxedo, number 2. First one was last week. This week, I am on a proper mic. Do I sound better?
Yeah, you sound way better.
Awesome. So that's better, and hopefully the video should be better this week too, because we're dealing with some internet issues last week. I think we might be better this week. We'll find out once this is done, I guess.
It looks better on my end. I mean, unless your internet cuts out, because we're recording a lot later than we had intended because your internet is garbage.
Yeah. Thank you, ISPs, monopolies everywhere. That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to, man? Like, you got your feature up, Being the Badass, a love letter to Hotline Miami. I can totally support that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Hotline Miami is awesome. And when that game came out, there was, I don't know, when that game came out, it did something. It did something like in my head, like in my brain. There's just something super chemical about that game that it just sticks in your head. I don't know. I played like twice when it came out, and oh man, it's such a good game. And that the music in that game, it just gets you going the whole way. Like, I don't know.
How did you describe the music in the video?
I'm trying to think. That's a good question.
Fucking badass music or something?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that is step number 3 or 4.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I had 3 steps in the video, and the third step is sick fucking badass music.
There we go.
Man, because that music it's just sick fucking badass music.
Totally.
Oh man, and it's not like they had an original composer. They cherry picked those songs.
Right.
But it was such an awesome, I don't know, some awesome decisions made behind that music. Just so good, yeah. But
once I played that game, I immediately went to get the soundtrack, and it was kind of a bitch to find.
Yeah.
I think I had to get it through the special edition on Steam or something, because it's not really for sale. Because, like you said, like the tracks were cherry picked from the.
Yeah, and that's the pain in the ass too. The only way I've really spent any time listening to the soundtrack is on YouTube,
Right.
with other people. Made like a playlist of the videos that feature that music, and I've listened to that soundtrack like 100 times. It's so good,
man.
and I listen to it when I'm like if I'm writing a feature or something or anything. It just gets you super pumped. It's fucking great.
Yeah, right around the time I played Hotline Miami, I had just watched Drive for the first time too.
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
yes.
Man. What? Like, oh, so good.
Yeah, that has an awesome soundtrack too.
For sure.
It's a pretty cool movie. I'm pretty sure the entire movie is. I'm pretty sure that who is it? Ryan Gosling. I'm pretty sure he's autistic or something.
He says like 5 words in that movie.
Exactly, which is why I think because he's super fucking effective. He can kill shit like nobody's business.
Yeah.
He can drive really well. So those are 2 things that he can do very well. But he's super socially inept.
Totally,
that's autism.
Yep.
Yeah. Shout outs to our autistic listeners.
Absolutely.
But no, it's that's a strange movie, but it's a pretty cool movie, and it has Bryan Cranston's in that movie.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I'm wearing a Breaking Bad shirt.
Oh, true fan. Yeah, representing.
Yeah, it looked like I pinched my nipples and pulled them really far up to my face.
Yeah.
But it was just my shirt. Yeah, so I'm trying to think. What have I played other than that this week? I played a lot of Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Oh yeah, how's that going?
It's really good. I'm starting to hit that MMO wall where I'm starting to be like, okay, this is definitely an MMO.
Right.
I'm like at level 18 or something like that, and it's fitting because May the 4th was this week.
Right.
I just
saw plenty of May the 4th to be with you on Facebook. It was funny every time. So hilarious.
Yeah, it's never forget May the 4th. And somebody said, like May the 5th, like what is May the shut the fuck up about Star Wars. Nobody gives a fuck. It's not, like for like the next day. And I don't know, but last week I watched every Star Wars movie. like
Right.
one a day. And then by Saturday, I finally finished, rounded it out. And I've also been watching the Clone Wars show, which has now finally turned out to not be a pile of shit. First couple episodes suck, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's all right.
I heard it's pretty good. I
I'm
thought
fully
people-
into the Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's okay. It's okay. It's nothing. I don't know. For a little while, it's nothing to write home about. But that's a lot of these shows. That people are like, yeah, it sucks for a couple episodes, but if you suffer for a while, you get Stockholm syndrome, and it's all right. So
Right.
that's how I feel about the Clone Wars.
So you
Stockholm syndrome.
digging the Old Republic though?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a good ass game. I'm pretty into it, but you know, I actually might subscribe just because I don't know. See, it's like if you're a subscriber at 15, you get a mount, and if you're not at 25, you can get a mount.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like right in the middle of that anyway, so I might just wait.
Right.
But eventually I'll probably toss a couple bucks at it because it's cool. It's cool. It's one of the most expensive games of all time. It's like $200 million. It's fucking ridiculous because every NPC talks. And before we get into other really expensive games, though, what have you been playing this week?
And yeah, I'll get to that in just a second. I just checked my settings. I think I was totally on the wrong mic, so this should be better. It should actually sound good now.
That actually does sound a lot better.
So there we go. We are professionals, people.
How do I sound? Is it actually coming out of the right mic for me?
Yeah, I think like with the Google Hangout stuff, it like does a lot of modulation on the stuff, so it sounds pretty decent no matter what. But so
Yeah,
you
'cause it doesn't
sound
sound
okay. But I sounded okay before too, right?
Oh yeah, you sounded fine. Let me just check my settings real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and check those, because you might totally be on. Let's hear it. Let's hear the change, man.
Yeah, okay, so if you're watching this video, you are seeing the light bulbs above our heads as we realize that we're fucking dumb. We've been using the wrong settings. But yeah, we should both sound really good now.
I really can't tell a difference on your end, though, actually. Did you change it?
Yeah, I changed it, but maybe that was already the default.
Okay, well, maybe
you're
you're good the whole time.
Because that's the thing, is it says, like, in the settings, it says default microphone, and then the name of, you know, my build microphone, and then microphone high definition audio device, which is just the built microphone laptop. Because I use this laptop because I don't have a webcam anywhere else. But hopefully, I don't know. Either way, whatever. Either it was working before, or it's working now. Fuck it.
Technicalities aside, this
We
is a
spent
video
too much
game
time
show.
talking about it already.
So let's talk about video games. I haven't played much, man. Like I was just playing more Wayward Souls. That game's still cool, but the grindy part of it gets really tough. You don't get much cash from each run, so like you just have to grind those dungeons over and over. I don't know. Like I'm only into the second dungeon, and I think there seems to be like 5 or 6 of them, and I don't know. I might be done because the amount of time it takes to get enough cash to buy upgrades at some certain point is just crazy. So, but other than that, I haven't played much, man. I'm kind of jonesing for a big release to get into, but there's nothing. Like I'm looking forward to. There's stuff coming at the end of the month. I'm really looking forward to Watch Dogs.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump into that one in a big way. But just like hearing you talk about the Old Republic and like all the MMO stuff that's going around, like people are really loving on Final Fantasy XIV, like since its relaunch and stuff. And I'm like, I kind of like to check that out, and I have a PS4, so I'm thinking maybe I should give that a try. But also, I kind of want to check out Elder Scrolls Online. So
those are both on the PS4, right?
Yeah, they totally are. I think Elder Scrolls, I mean, it's out on PC now, but it's coming to PS4 like in next month or something.
Okay.
But yeah, Final Fantasy XIV is on PS4 right now, so I could be playing that. But man, like I think we've talked about offline about my MMO thing, but man, it's just such a daunting thing to get into an MMO for me. Like,
yeah, it's a time commitment, man. And like with the Old Republic, for me, I haven't even played it today, and it's one of those things where either I'll play it for like an hour a day, or you know something like that, and just do a couple of the story quests, and then I'll come home from work, play it an hour tomorrow. And then on the weekends, I'll play for a little extra, or I'll just skip a day. Like today, I fell asleep instead because I was
right. Sleep turns out also good. Also fun.
Uh-oh. What was that? I just you cut out for me.
Sleep is also fun.
Oh, sleep is excellent. I love sleep, man.
Yeah.
But it's a time commitment, and I think that if you're deciding between The Elder Scrolls Online and Final Fantasy XIV, the big differentiator is that Final Fantasy XIV is very multiplayer focused, which is a strange thing to say because they're fucking multiplayer-only games.
Right.
It's like saying I heard somebody complaining about this recently that like I don't like Final Fantasy XIV because it makes you get in parties with people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's the fucking point. It doesn't make any sense for people to be upset because like now you finally have an MMO that's like, you know, that the reason why this is an entire genre in and of itself, the massively multiplayer online version, now it's actually a game that you can be played this way instead of a game that's meant to be soloed like 90% of MMOs out there. Which is it's such a strange thing. It's like if Titanfall 2 came out, and it's like, yeah, it's always online, you're always on the internet, but we just took all the people out because who the fuck plays with other people?
That'd be a real EA move, though. I wouldn't be that surprised.
No, that wouldn't surprise me. They've flip-flopped on the complete other side of that with SimCity. Hey, you know this game that you never wanted to play with anybody? Or like against anybody? Well, here you go. You
have to.
Now you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the main thing. If you like games if you like MMOs that force you to play with other people, Final Fantasy XIV is apparently very good at that. And as you would imagine, The Elder Scrolls Online is much more single player focused. So.
Yeah, that sounds like I'm one of those dudes. I'm the dude who says I don't want to play the MMO where you have to group up with people. I'm that asshole. So I might go Elder Scrolls with that. But really what I'm waiting for is the Adam Sandler Universe MMO.
Yeah. So. Oh, man. Grown-Ups MMO.
Yeah.
Which is way less dirty than you'd expect it to be.
Like, you can travel different lands, go into, like, different universes. You can go to Happy Gilmore universe. You can go to Grown-Ups universe.
Oh, man.
Always there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's your NPC sidekick.
Huh?
NPC sidekick, Kevin James.
Oh, yeah, Kevin James is your NPC sidekick. You have, like... I think he'd be better as, like, a mount.
I was gonna say that too.
Right on his back, and then you have I don't know. You have your Steve Buscemi pet who follows you around, and then you have like the Drew Barrymore as a quest giver.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. She's in every fucking movie anyway.
And who's that other dude, the Deuce Bigelow guy? Who's
Rob
that guy?
Schneider?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob Schneider, he's easily he's a high-level quest giver, you know.
Wearing some wacky costume because he's wacky. What Rob Schneider, yeah.
Race every movie, so you don't know what you're getting. You know, one minute he's sending you on a Hawaii excursion, and the next he's like I don't know, like a tribal Indian or something.
Yeah, of course.
Oh man, yeah, wow, that's gonna be great. So yeah, when's that coming out?
I think pretty soon. I mean, it comes out it's like going to be coming out every year, I think, you know.
Yeah. They only release an update every time another shitty Adam Sandler movie comes out.
New realms, man, new realms.
Oh, God.
We did the requisite Adam Sandler joke, so let's get into the news here.
The Adam Sandler Universe. That's such a vast universe of Adam Sandler.
There's plenty of jokes to mine from that stuff, man. We're not going to be running out anytime soon.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be great. I'm going to write up a design doc after this.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to it.
Happen. So news, big stuff coming out of Bungie. They're just starting to put out some design documentaries about Destiny, and some big news came out of Activision about their funding for the project, which has apparently reached $500 million.
Well,
Which,
I think they were intending to spend that much.
right. They just revealed that, I guess. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that covers everything end to end, from like development to marketing and everything like that. So it covers everything, but that's still a ton of money, and it's more than like the biggest games in the past, which are like GTAs and stuff. I think you said like the latest GTA was like 250 to 300 mil or something like that.
Yeah, and that's expensive. I mean, that's dwarfing most movies. I mean, that's an amazing Spider-Man budget. I'm pretty sure that's an Avengers budget. You know, and that's crazy. That is especially in this case of the $500 million. I mean, I was referring to the GTA numbers. That's a lot of money. But this Destiny, I think, and I've been reading the thread on Gaff, and they're of course they're like RIP.
What's Gaff have to say about this? That's what I really want.
I think a lot of people are in understanding that Call of Duty cannot cost that much money I mean, maybe these newer ones can, but the older ones running on older engines that were basically running on the same engine coming out every year.
Yeah.
They couldn't have cost that much money.
No way. Yeah.
So you figure probably under I don't know. I don't know. Like the average AAA game is like $40 to $50 million.
Sure.
And Call of Duty's probably riding around there because there hasn't been a whole lot of advancements in that game, I would say.
And they've streamlined that development process, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, they trimmed the fat on that shit. Those are huge. I mean, maybe the cost comes from the fact that those studios are fucking gigantic, which goes along with that Neversoft being just pushed into Infinity Ward. Now there's no Neversoft. It's just a mega
studio. But I mean that's sad in a nostalgia sense. But what has Neversoft been doing recently?
Oh yeah, it's mostly said that name is going to go away.
Yeah, it is sad.
It's just Infinity Ward. But then again, what is Infinity Ward? So
I would imagine for the Call of Duty stuff, they're probably. I mean, this is all complete speculation, but I bet they're around that $50 to $60 million mark for dev costs on that stuff, and I bet they put that in again in marketing.
Oh yeah. Okay, so even if they spend like $110 million on those games, they make an insane amount of money. In the billions every year, per entry, and then so I guess that was the Gaff take, is that they make $1 billion on every one of these. They're not really losing any money. They're just investing in another franchise that they can also make $1 billion off of every year.
Right.
And that's what you got to take away from this too. $500 million. They're trying to create a franchise. They're not trying to create Destiny. So Destiny, and Bungie has already done the stereotypical dev thing where they're like, this game is going to be 15 years old in 15 years, and will also receive an update every 5 minutes by Eugene in accounting. This game, they're already saying that it's going to be, they're in for the long haul on this, so they know it's going to be out for a long time. It's out for every console except for the Wii U.
Weird.
And then they're making it so that this will be a trend. And I'm assuming that they're thinking this is going to, I think they have to sell like 15 million copies. Which, good fucking luck. I mean, this game, it looks pretty cool, but the previews have been really mediocre at best.
Like I was listening to some of the joystick guys talk about it, because a lot of the big outlets just made the trip out to Bungie and did their huge first preview pass on the game. And the opinions coming out of that thing were kind of tepid, saying it was like technically really awesome. Like graphics looked great and it seemed tight, but it just seemed a little bit bland. And I can kind of feel that, and it seems like the audience kind of feels that way too, because the joystick guys were saying like that their story on that they put up, which had a video preview and everything, didn't even get that much traffic, and there weren't that many comments. Like people are not like voracious for stuff about Destiny at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll change once more of this stuff and the marketing starts picking up around E3 and stuff. But I don't know, man. Like when it was first announced, I really dug what it seemed like they were going for, and like I'm a guy who I really love the gameplay of Borderlands. but I don't love the dressing around Borderlands. So when people sort of say this is like a take on the Borderlands sort of formula, that is kind of awesome to me, because you take the polish and the gameplay that Bungie can put out and you wrap it around like a loot-based shooter. That sounds pretty awesome. But for some reason, yeah, there's just not that one thing that is like really causing a super amount of excitement at this point for me, and I can't pinpoint why that is exactly.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing about this game, is that I think that the people who are very interested in this game are like Bungie. Is they basically, you know, they made this whole first-person shooter on consoles thing a big deal.
Yeah.
And you know, which is totally true, and I think people put a lot of stock in that. But to the everyday Call of Duty gamer, which is who they're targeting with this game that is a little bit above the Call of Duty mindset, I think, because it is that like Diablo, like, you know, Borderlands 2 kind of game. And I mean, there's a lot of people playing Borderlands, but they're very much in love with Borderlands.
Yeah.
And, I think that this game is going to do well, but it's 15 million. Like, that's a big number. You know, that's a Call of Duty number. I
don't see how that can happen, man.
No, me neither. And I think that Destiny 2, between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, they could hit like 15 million. I think that's a reasonable goal. But 15 million, that's a lot of people. And this, I mean, I think that these previews have been, you know, and like the fact that they've been so lukewarm on this game, I think is very telling how much they've seen. Because everybody's seeing that same vertical slice of gameplay that is supposedly like a game mode that that was just revealed or something. They didn't seem very interested in what was going on, because it was very first-person shootery. You know what I mean? Yeah. They didn't really get those, like, this is Destiny MMO first-person shooter hybrid, but not really an MMO kind of thing. I think that they have a lot that they have yet to show. And this game is going to be really interesting, I think, from what they've been saying.
Yeah.
It's just that what they've shown people is not super interesting, and I don't know. If they're making the wrong moves on here, and $500 million in the investment of this franchise is, I think, you know, it's a big number, but it could pay off in, you know, eventually. But I don't see it taking off the way that people like. The people who are really into this game think that this will be the next, you know, 15 million selling game. But, you know, this is no Call of Duty. It's not a Call of Duty. It's not a Mario Kart. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, people were talking up a big game about Titanfall before it released, and just got numbers on that, which pegged it at 1 million after 3 weeks on sale. But that is just on Xbox One. And that didn't account for the 360 numbers. It did account for PC, I guess. But, I mean, that's kind of a disappointment, at least when it's being sort of touted as the response to Call of Duty. Like, I mean, it's not crazy numbers. It's a good start for a new franchise that nobody had ever heard of before.
Yeah.
But I mean, I imagine Activision, with the amount of marketing they're going to put behind Destiny, it's going to be a pretty different situation than Titanfall. But yeah, I just don't see any way a new property can come out of the gate and move 15 million copies.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Well, and that's the thing, is I'm very interested in Destiny, and I am, unlike other people who were very interested in from the beginning and are now not as interested because they've seen so much of it and it's taken so long. I'm super interested in it now, as opposed to before, where I wasn't interested at all. And I think that this is just not the mainstream thing that everybody wants it to be.
Right.
And like Titanfall totally is. Titanfall is. It's
it's that jump in, get some action, jump out game.
Exactly, and it's slightly less, you know, jump in and play than Call of Duty, because it's like, well, I have to learn these dumb robot things. But, you know, it's still blowing shit up. And Destiny is like, play with your friends. Find guns. That's fun. And that's totally cool. And like I said, there's a ton of people who play Borderlands. And some of them will want to play Destiny.
Right.
But other ones
It's a
will
good
want to
move.
play Destiny or the pre-sequel for Borderlands. So I don't know.
Right. The pre-sequel. Ugh. Whatever.
I know.
All right,
I know.
Destiny. We'll be back on it, talking about it again soon, I'm sure. But let's
I'm
head over to this Oculus stuff. Some shit going down over at Oculus.
Yeah, the saga continues on this. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So if you've been following this, you'll be aware that John Carmack, of long-time id Software fame, left ZeniMax, parent company of id now, for Oculus some months ago. And they just claimed that he took his work that he did on virtual reality stuff at id and took it over to Oculus, and they're using it without having paid any royalties on that stuff. And since Oculus has fired back saying that's not the case, but it seems like this is going to be going to some legal proceedings of some sort.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of just a shouting match at this point, but it is going places, it seems.
Well, and you know the lawyer for Facebook fucking schooled them basically.
Oh yeah.
If you look at these key points here, I got them up. And before ZeniMax was saying, you know, hey, this dude worked for us, and he wrote a lot of that code while he was working for us, and now he's not working for us, and he took that code with him.
Yeah.
And they did mention that that was a thing, but I don't think any of that code is being used presently. On top of that, I think what it comes down to is mind share. You know what I mean? He was working for ZeniMax, but he was also working for Oculus in his spare time, which is taken away from, you know, the work that he could be doing at ZeniMax, which is, I think, a point that they're trying to make, but a point that they'll get a couple bucks from it, but they're not going to win anything. I think they're gonna end up settling. But a couple points from Facebook. There is not a line of ZeniMax code or any of its technology in any Oculus products. John Carmack did not take any intellectual property from ZeniMax. ZeniMax was misstated the purposes and language of the ZeniMax non-disclosure agreement that Palmer Luckey signed, which that was a big deal because they're saying that like Palmer Luckey signed papers and stuff like that to specifically use or not use certain things because of the situation with John Carmack working at both places, and the fact that they were offered a certain amount of equity of the company at some point. Like ZeniMax was offered some equity in the company, but then they declined. And of course, naturally, the people were saying, well, this is because John Carmack was, you know, he was writing code and then using it in Oculus while working in ZeniMax, which is not the case apparently. Which is they're saying that's like they have misstated the purposes and languages of the ZeniMax non-disclosure agreement that Palmer Luckey signed. It's pretty cut and dry there. A key reason that John permanently left ZeniMax in August of 2013 was that ZeniMax prevented John from working on VR and stopped investing in VR games across the company. So anyway, that's as far as I need to go on there. But basically, they fucking canceled the VR support for Doom 3.
Yeah, I read somewhere that might have come down to the only way they would have agreed to do it is if they could have some equity in Oculus or something like that.
Exactly.
And that wasn't on the table, so they were like, well, then we won't do that. So, yeah, it's all really interesting. I think it's still crazy to me that all of this has happened with John Carmack going to Oculus, Oculus going to Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, over time, like, I'm coming around more and more and getting excited about what's happening there again, because it's a cool thing, and they have a lot of resources which could be cool. So
yeah, and the entire time that this is happening, I'm just thinking of like a Social Network, the movie poster.
Yeah,
it's like you don't spend $2 billion on Oculus without getting sued by ZeniMax. Jesse Eisenberg's face in the back, just super confused.
Yeah, of course.
It seems like Facebook can't make a move without getting sued, right? This is just the new Winklevoss twins.
I mean,
coming for that
whatever.
Facebook money.
Even if it comes down to a settlement, it's going to be pennies. I mean, it's going to be nothing to Facebook to pay those guys off if they have to. Like,
yeah, just like the Winklevoss twins.
Exactly. It's nothing.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for Oculus. And we were talking about Call of Duty earlier, so let's get into this Advanced Warfare Kevin Spacey edition.
Yeah, you made a quick hit about it. Kevin Spacey centric. Here's the thing. Here is the thing that I took away from that commercial trailer, whatever that word is that I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Here's what I took away from that, is that they need to invest in some better fucking tech for their faces.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the game looks fine. I'm sure the game will look perfectly fine. And if, unlike Titanfall, I did. What was the frame rate on Titanfall on Xbox One? Do you know?
I don't think it was locked at 60. I think it was just variable, like 40 to 60, something like that.
And I think that the Call of Duty franchise has been very good at a couple things, and that's keeping their games at 60 frames per second. Those games are they run like they're smooth as butter. Those games.
Sure.
For all the shit talking we can do, those dudes that work at those studios make sure that game runs flawlessly. And they do it very, very well. And I'm hoping that this game does that too, but that doesn't mean that you should fucking put stone-faced Kevin Spacey.
I mean, it looks fucking bad. It looks bad. Like, they focused on it so much, and it could be a cool thing, but, like, it looks terrible. So, it's not cool. Like,
yeah, and that's the thing, right? It looked like Kevin Spacey. It totally looked like Kevin Spacey. I saw it, but
approximation.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Is that we have the technology now that I should look at this character and be like, oh, that's fucking Kevin Spacey. Holy shit! I looked at the screen and I was like squinting at the screen. And I was like, is that Kevin Spacey? Is that That's not a fucking problem I should have. If you make this guy to look like Kevin Spacey, I should be like, holy shit, that's Kevin Spacey. Because I watched House of Cards, and he was the only good part of that Superman movie. But I don't know.
It's
like, you look at games like at Infamous, right?
Yeah.
Infamous looked fucking pretty good, pretty great.
Yeah,
but
pretty good.
The tech in their facial animations and the way they acted out those scenes was excellent, so good. And you could tell, you could see the what's his face? The guy who plays the main character.
In what? In Infamous?
And yeah, not Kevin Spacey. Yeah. What's his name? He's in every game. He's in every fucking game.
Oh, Troy Baker.
Troy Baker. You could see Troy Baker in that character.
Yeah.
And that's not even. They weren't even pushing that. This is fucking Kevin Spacey. They should be pushing that tech and being like, look, the wrinkles on Kevin Spacey's face fucking wiggle just like they do in House of Cards. And that should be a fucking selling point.
It's a problem, man. Like in Infamous, those are not lifelike people. I mean, they're sort of caricatures, but the way they move is it's deliberate. Like, it's been animated well. Like, the Kevin Spacey stuff, it looks like the art's a little bit off, but the technical ability of the animators at work there is terrible too. Like, it looks like a robot.
It totally does. It's super rigid, and the way he moves his arms and stuff and turns to the camera, it looks. I don't know. It's just off. It's off. It's totally off. It's very, very Beyond Two Souls.
Right.
If they put Beyond Two Souls on a PlayStation 4, that's how it would look. That's my thoughts. And it's funny when this trailer came out, I texted my buddy and I was like, "Did you see the new trailer? Did you see the new trailer for the new Call of Duty? Kevin Spacey plays a fake version of himself in House of Cards." And he's like, "Democracy, democracy, democracy." Yep. Yeah, he plays like I don't know, an angrier Frank Underwood who's trying to take over the world, which is kind of what Frank Underwood does.
Totally. I mean, aside from the Kevin Spacey stuff, though, I'm glad it's in the future. I mean, I'm one of those people who have been kind of clamoring for it to go that way. So there should be some cool stuff in there because of that stuff. I saw hover bikes. That's pretty sweet.
That's pretty cool. That's cool.
And the gameplay stuff they showed looks a lot better because it doesn't focus on characters. Like graphically, it looks better. Like it looks like a step up.
I'll tell you what, man. I noticed that like other than that Kevin Spacey garbage, the game itself, the gameplay that they showed, and they made it a point we should mention to say that this was captured on an Xbox One.
Right.
So they obviously still have that promotional, hook with Microsoft, which is very interesting considering that they also have Titanfall licking their taint too. So they have these two franchises. They want to be very big. They already know Call of Duty's big, but they're basically sticking with the dude bro community over there, which I thought was kind of the opposite with Ghosts. So I thought that was a little bit more PlayStation 4 focused. So that's interesting. But the game looks very good.
All the DLC for Ghosts came out on Xbox One first.
Oh, did it? Oh, okay, okay, all right.
So that's just an ongoing thing.
Okay, yeah. But the game looks good. It looks better than Ghosts. It looks probably. I mean, I thought it looked better than Titanfall. I think Titanfall is also a very subpar looking game. I mean, it looks fine. It looks perfect. I mean, make no mistakes. I don't think these games look bad, but they don't look. When you're like, okay, we're in the next generation now. How do these games look? And the answer is kind of shitty, kind of like what you were used to. Yeah. Which is the unfortunate thing. Like, have you played a game on the PC? It probably looks like that, except a little worse. So it's unfortunate. And like I think I've mentioned this before. By the end of this generation, these games, these boxes will be so optimized that these games will look fucking great. I mean, The Last of Us looked great on the PlayStation 3, and that's I would play that after the Xbox One and PS4 came out, and I was not jaded on that. But eventually these people will master these consoles and make games that rival technically the PC experience. But right now these games, I mean, they're just not that impressive. But this is better than what we've gotten from Call of Duty Ghost and Titanfall, and I don't know, Destiny looks pretty fucking nice though.
Yeah, Destiny looks really great.
Yeah. Especially considering that's also multi-platform on multiple generations of consoles.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting what that stuff looks like on Xbox 360 and PS3. Which I wonder if that's gonna be another Titanfall situation where they don't even show it until it shows up. And it's just.
I would imagine that none of that $500 million is going to the Xbox.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But it was funny. It was interesting to see once that 360 version of Titanfall hit. It doesn't even look that bad. It looks kind of the same. It's just a little worse.
That's what I think. I tweeted that as soon as I saw that. I was like, well, now we know why they didn't show that one. It's because it doesn't look that bad. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I have not had that version in front of me, so. It probably does look very bad compared to somebody else playing the Xbox One version. Like, what's that shit game you have? Right. Because the textures are super shitty and the poly count is way lower. But you got to figure that you're putting this game on that is literally the exact same game on a console. Like the console that they intended it for, and then another console that has completely different architecture. Yeah. So it's very easy. I would imagine it's probably not that difficult to put the Xbox One version on the PC because of the x86 stuff. But then you put it on the 360. That's some fucking warlock magical voodoo that you're pulling off to make it even run. So I was impressed. I haven't played it on the Xbox 360, but I don't even have an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4 because I'm poor. So, I don't know. Call of Duty, I might play this one. It's you mentioned that it was like the first one that got you jazzed in a while, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not a big multiplayer guy, so I mean that's not saying a whole bunch, but like I got way into Modern Warfare, the original, and kind of dabbled in and out just a little bit in every entry since then. I mean, not every entry, actually. I skipped a bunch of them. But, I mean, I checked in every now and then. Yeah. But this one, it looks shitty, but Kevin Spacey, I want to see that.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
I want to see what that's about.
In a fucked up way, Robo Kevin Spacey kind of kicked it off for me, too. I was like, wow, now I'm kind of interested for some reason. I don't know why. And you know what I was saying? why don't they just fucking get like one of the dudes who involved in the writing of House of Cards? Because they're clearly aping this character. Like a little bit, a little bit. They have this, like, imagine Frank Underwood that doesn't have an accent, and that is totally what they're doing here. They're making this like diabolical political figure. Just go all out. Hire a dude who brought the coffee on set, and then hopefully that game will not have like complete shit story, and Kevin Spacey will actually be interesting. And then they could just do the House of Cards thing where they just unfold it through, multiple entries. If they, by Advanced Warfare 2, everybody's dead.
Did you see that shit about? I think it's like the new season of the next season of Walking Dead, Telltale's The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
They were touting the fact. No, it's Game of Thrones. The Telltale's Game of Thrones. They were touting the fact that they have a writing consultant, and the writing consultant is the personal assistant of George R.R. Martin. So that's like really crazy, man. It's not even like a dude who's like involved with the writing of those books. It's the dude's personal assistant.
Yeah, but to be fair, I was expecting you to say like the dude who brings George R.R. Martin his hot dogs.
Yeah, but I feel like it's kind of like on that level. He probably does get that dude hot dogs.
Yeah.
That probably is in his job description. Like
you're probably right. Yeah, that's a strange thing. Because you do want people like, this dude works very close to the source material.
Yeah.
And he's involved in this project that this guy probably does not give a shit about.
Right.
But, we got the assistant.
Yeah, we have the personal assistant.
They hired him not as a consultant, just to get them coffee.
Whatever, man. That's some weird stuff.
We heard you were really good at George R.R. Martin. We love fucking hot dogs, dude. Go get us some hot dogs.
Yeah. All right, man. That wraps up the news, and I think that wraps up the show.
Yeah, I think so.
We're good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a decent week of stuff. Yeah, that Advanced Warfare. I'll probably play it.
Right. Yeah, I'll probably play it
Destiny.
too.
I'll probably play it.
I'll definitely play that.
Oculus. I might wear one.
Yeah, I'll definitely wear one of those.
Yeah, it's everything that I just said.
Let's hate on everything and then say we're going to totally buy them all.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're going to do.
So we're the NeoGAF of videos.
Mission accomplished, man. Fish Tuxedo, mission accomplished.
Hey, I like NeoGAF. That's all right. Let's also make a mention, by the way, that the Fish Tuxedo website is live.
Absolutely. It's there. It looks pretty good. You can jump in there, comment, head to the forums, just generally check stuff out. It's pretty slick. Check it out.
Yeah, it looks fucking awesome. I've had a couple people mention that, like, hey, that website doesn't look like shit. And I'm like, thanks. I didn't do it, but
we'll
there's
take
a guy
that
who did do it, and he'll take that compliment. No, it looks really nice. We've been doing the links from Twitter and on Facebook. I've been linking on Facebook just straight to the website as opposed to YouTube. Just because you know what, you're watching this video, now you're stuck. You're stuck.
Right. We trapped you.
You cannot leave. You're on the website. Now click another link. I know there's only like 6. But,
there'll be more sometime soon. Pretty soon. So.
The replay value on those videos is pretty high. There's Easter eggs in every video.
Yeah. We hide stuff. We hide Adam Sandler stuff in every single one. See if you can find it.
There's going to be, I'm going to put literal Easter eggs and pictures of Adam Sandler hidden in every video now. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to do at least one video now. So people are not going to give a shit about anything that I put out, but now they're going to be like, oh my god, is that Adam Sandler? Is that Grown Ups 10? Oh my god, that's the in the background in that little window over there. I can see the trailer for the upcoming Adam Sandler Universe MMO.
I can see that guy in the background that wears that shirt that says "Guns don't kill people, I kill people."
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, there's a picture of an angry Shooter McGavin over there. Like, anyway, yeah, that's 2 times in one podcast. Podcast, whatever this is.
We did it.
This is like a podcast for the internet that will never be put on iTunes.
It's Casual Wednesdays, man. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's so casual that we don't put it on iTunes.
Right. All right, man. That wraps up the show.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for watching. Check out the 2 more features that'll be out before next week. Quick hits, and we'll see you right here next week, next Wednesday. See ya.
Sounds good.
Equiside.